everybody, welcome back to Vanguard 101. It's been a while. Today, we're talking about Sentinels, so stick around. Hey everybody, you know what time it is? It's Vanguard 101. You've been wondering what those weird little grade zeros with the grade ones, but they got a zero shield. What does that mean? Does that mean I can't guard with them? No. That means they're very special. Well, only a couple of them are special because that's actually a type. Okay. We're talking about those big bad perfect guards that used to define half your deck's cost. There are 4 types of Sentinels. We've got the old perfect guards. The good ones, not the new bad ones, the good ones. Well, I said they're bad, but sometimes you use them, but I'll explain that in a minute. We've got perfect guards. I'm talking Bari. My favorite. My favorite, he's going right here. He's going right here, his name is Bari. He says, you drop him in the guard zone, you discard a card, you pick one of your dudes in the front row, or who's ever being attacked, rather. It wasn't until later we got back row attacks. They can't be hit. It was pretty good. Yeah, all the way back from BTO 1, you could get this card. I still have these from BTO 1. It was great. And so you didn't have to deal with those 20k Alfred Strings when they might hit 2 crits and you probably would die at 3 damage. And this is the only thing between you and a very unhappy day. So, perfect guards, they used to be $20. These used to be $20. All of them. But maybe not you, Gus Jin. We don't talk about you. Well, now you're $20. You had your day. Your 15 minutes are here. So, perfect guards used to be $20, just like your triple R's, which were also $20, and so you started every deck going, I want to build this deck, here's $160, why thank you sir, now here's the other $40 from Rares and Commons, now you're good to go. But now we have some options, and I'm here to talk to you about these options, because Ryan, what are these options, and which one should I play? Well, then we got Quintet Walls, which nobody really liked, unfortunately. So, these guys say you put it in your drop zone, you counterblast 1, you take the 5 top cards of your deck or something, you plop them on the guard circle and you pray it's enough. Now, there was a lot of potential here. We thought these were going to be like, well, how many should we run now? And we finally realized that 3 and 1 is probably the most you want to go on perfect guards to Quintet Walls, because 1 Quintet Wall is just kind of bad unless you need the graveyard for something. It would have been cool had we had something like, well, if you're Grand Blue, you play this on the guard circle and counterblast 1, pull out, your 3 of your triggers and set them on there and get, 30k shield for counterblast 1 card in your hand. Like, that's pretty okay. I would take that. Or maybe Genesis lets you guard from the soul or something. Like, that's pretty neat. At least the triggers in there get used, but no, it's all the same, and you're pretty much just hoping. It's 1 less card, but in counterblast heavy decks, you're screwed. You're using Quintet Walls and you need to guard, but you don't have to counterblast because you did all your awesome effects that, you did the thing. But now you can't guard. So now you're unhappy. But we're not here to be unhappy. We're here to be super happy with our perfect cards. So, for you Counterblast Devi Hex. Heavy decks, not dukes, decks. We now have the unflipped PGs. That's right. Now your PGs have more than 1 effect. Hey, that's pretty neat. But at a cost. That's not an eye. If you have a copy in your drop zone, and you drop one of these babies, you get to unflip the damage. That's pretty neat, because, a lot of decks use a lot of counterblast. Hey, it's the primary way we pay costs in this game. It says it right in this little handy-dandy rulebook, which has all the triggers on it. Play the yellow ones. Okay. So, when these came out, everyone's like, I'm going to drop my Baris and pick up Protector Dragons. Well, they shouldn't have done that, and I'll tell you why. But after we get through our next type of Perfect Guard, we got the new ones. The new special perfect guards, or PGGs, or what people are calling them now. I don't know what all the youngsters are up to. But there's only one of these in existence. It's Nemain, and it's got a little Shadow Paladin effect on it where you get to draw and discard a card. Like, that's pretty cool. If they all do that, you're not special, Nemain. We're so sorry. Then they become, like, DDPGs, and, that's fine. But if we get, like, some specific ones, like Kagero, perfect guard with this, and if you have 2 copies in your yard or more, retire something. Like, that's pretty neat. That's way too overpowered. Don't actually print that Bushiroad. But when you get some extra, like, utility tacked onto these cards you've been running forever, like, that's power creep right there. That's awesome. We're here to play better games and have more things. And, more stuff for free. They're big for it. Okay. So, we're back to which PGs should I use, or Sentinels, as they now have a keyword that didn't exist when I started playing. So, with all these options, which do I pick? Well, don't pick Quintet Walls, let's just be real here. I mean, you can play one, but it's not that great. Especially if you're playing one Quintet Wall, don't play these, because you need copies of these, and they just don't work the same way. You can play these together, Perfect Guards and Quintet Walls, but don't mix Quintet Walls and anything else. And again, only one Quintet Wall at max, and then 3 of these other guys. So, let's talk about something that many people either understand very well or not at all, or sometimes in the middle, but don't think about it all the way through. It's the meta, and how the meta affects which cards you play and how you build your deck. Now, Vanguard's a pretty easy game to deck build in, considering that I can do it. And we just kind of throw things together or get our list from Singapore, like I do. And then we say, well, in single land this works, so it must be right. I mean, sometimes it is, but when they play Japanese format, and Laurel's at 1, and they can say, oh, I'll run on flip PGs all day, because Laurel isn't very prevalent here. But here in the US, where Laurel is still at 4, thanks Bushi, we can't play on flip PGs. Or at least we couldn't back in the EBGBBT01 thing, where all the D Police came out, and we were super sad because D Police had all the power in the world. And they ran Atlanta, and a couple other regionals. It wasn't that much fun. So, we couldn't run on flip PGs, and if you did, boy were you at risk. Because we were super sad when we read that, wait a minute, they can swing with their giant stride rear guard and they can't stop it because my Perfect Guard has a stipulation that, oh by the way, these can't block rear guards. Can't do it. It's only Vanguard, which, utility, it's pretty good. You get some flip damage. Unfortunately, you just lost the game because your opponent drew 6 cards in your face. And some of them are triggers. And some of them were this little yellow card that decides your fate in this game. And maybe occasionally this one. Also this. But not this one. These 3. Okay. So. But now, D Police kind of out of favor, especially when we have such lovely things as Mega Colony and Shadow Paladins, and now it's a little more okay that they're probably not going to attack your rear guards because Restanders also took a hit on the new Mega Colony promo. You haven't seen that thing. This thing is what we like to call meta-defining. So I'm going to put like Commander Laurel and that Mega Colony promo, who's probably got some machining names that's real good. And Nate put a little, description of what that card does here. I'm going to explain why this card is so devastating in a meta. So the problem with why we couldn't play on flip PGs as much as we wanted to, because Restanders that could restand on the rear guards were prevalent. So they swung, and at your rear guard, you can't stop it. Unless you drop a momentous amount of triggers, in which case you were probably already winning the game. And when they did that, you'd say, well, I can't guard that. And they say, okay, I'll check 6 cards and we'll have a good time. Or, they're playing Dotix and they legioned up and said, okay, don't hit the rear guard. Have fun. And so we couldn't play on flip PGs in the Kagero D Police meta. But now Aquaforce is here, and Kagero's slipping away slowly but surely, even with the ace out. And we can say, okay, well there's 1 down, and now D Police is not being as prevalent in tournaments as such. Things like Aquaforce and Shadow Paladin, we say, wait a minute. No more Restanders. I think I hear something. It's the change in the winds. Maybe it's just Aquaforce. But now we can play on flip PGs, because the meta shifted from Restanders to things that just do a lot of stuff and don't let you guard. So we're just going to move down here, especially when Restanders took a hit on the new Mega Colony promo that says, no restanding for you boys! So now that we went from here to here, over here, now we can play, well, these 2 over here. And say, now we can do a bunch of cool stuff with our PGs, so long as we don't accidentally run into that one guy who's still playing Dotix. But we can probably guard that, because we were playing new stuff. So, this is a little bit about Sentinels. You got any questions about how these work, or Ryan, why are you so old at this game? Well, this is why, because when I started playing, we didn't have this. This wasn't this. We had these, and they were named Bari, and they were all $20, and then I once heard about some guy propping up 8, like a table leg with 8 Halo Shield marks when they were 25 each, because Gold Paladins ran the show, and we were like, why would you do this? He's like, because I felt like throwing away $200. Like, it was a real fun time. So, if you want to ask me questions like, Ryan, why does the meta shift? Well, because new cards come out, and old cards get bad, and occasionally they get banned, but not in Vanguard. Thanks, Bushi. Laurel's still here. Cavalier's also on its way out, thankfully. Not many Nova Grapplers here. And D Police have all moved over to Heavy Duke, which you can't stop with PGs anyway. As a meta shift for you. Fighter's Collection did us all a giant favor by saying, well, there's just better stuff you can play. So, remember, may all your checks be triple crits, or if you run into that, if you're playing Deep Lease and you run into that guy playing these, sextuple crits. That'll be a fun day for you. I want to hear about it. Put it in the comments. Alright. So remember to like, share, and subscribe to Team Absolution Vanguard. Put what other Vanguard 101 lessons you would like in the comments. I'm happy to do them for you. Jose is here, Jorge is here. We all know a little bit about the theory of this game. And that's all I got for you. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.